Okay guys, let's get started. If you're using frozen meat or a frozen meat replacement, go ahead and put that in the microwave while you begin to prep other stuff. I did forget one ingredient off our ingredients list, which is garlic cloves. You can add as many as you want, really, it's up to flavour, but I usually use one large clove or two small ones, but it's up to you how much garlic you like. So the first thing I'm going to get started with is the mushrooms. I pull the stalk out of the middle and peel the mushrooms, and then thinly slice them both, mushroom and stalk. The next thing I like to do is take a large carrot and slice both ends, and then start to peel that carrot. After it's peeled, I cut it into medium thin slices because I like to cut them into shapes. You don't have to do this, it's just something that I prefer to do. I think it looks nicer, so it's up to you if you do this part or not. If not, just cut them into circles. I had a little bit of carrot left over, so I decided to cut them into batons for Tamago, my fiance. If you've just gone for round carrots, you can skip this part, but this is the part where I cut them into flower shapes and heart shapes. So by now your chicken should be defrosted, so we're going to go ahead and cut that into thin strips. Clean down your chopping board after cutting any meat on it before starting anything else. We're going to move on to garlic now. I find it easier to cut off both ends to help peel it, and then we're going to crush it down and slice it really thinly. Take a small pinch of garlic to marinate the chicken, and then save the other half of the garlic for later to add to your soup. Take a handful of basil and a handful of coriander, and then you're just going to want to take the stalks out and slice it really thinly. Then you're going to split both piles in half and sprinkle half onto the meat to marinate, and then half to put aside for the soup later. Now to mix the marinade together with the meat, you can either do this wearing gloves with your hands or with a spoon, because I know some people don't like handling raw meat. Cover with cling film and put aside for later in the fridge. Next we need to peel potatoes, so peel all of the skin off and any imperfections in the actual potato and chop them into small or medium sized chunks. The bigger the chunks, the longer it's going to take to cook, so just bear that in mind. Cut off the ends of your onion and then peel it. Then we're going to cut it in half and then into medium-sized moon crescents. You're going to want to do the same with spring onion. Just chop off the head, peel off any dead skin or drying out or dying leaves, and then you're going to want to thinly slice the spring onion as well and put that aside. Now for the last ingredients, we use cabbage and pak choi, so we're going to want to chop them up as well. I use Chinese leaf cabbage in mine, but you can use any cabbage that you want, and obviously pak choi. So go ahead and thinly slice your cabbage and pak choi. I made this for 2 people, so I used 4 leaves of pak choi and about a quarter of my cabbage. Go ahead and add a bit of oil to the bottom of your pan. A casserole dish would be better suited for this, but we don't have one of those at the moment, so I'm using a really big wok. So now that your oil is nice and hot, you need to start adding your meat to it. Don't worry if it starts to stick a little bit, because we're going to be adding water to it and it'll just pull all that off, so don't worry about that. While everything is cooking down, this is the part where you're going to want to boil your kettle. So when the outside of your meat is starting to look mostly cooked, this is the part where I begin to add onion and garlic. I love the smell and the aroma that it gives off when you start to cook onion and garlic first with your meat. And now we're going to go in with the carrots and the rest of the ingredients. Just slowly begin to add everything until it's all in the pan. Hold off on putting your cabbage in right now, and we'll put that in after we've added the boiling water. So next you're going to want to get your ingredients onto hand while you wait for your oil to heat up. This will be your miso paste, oregano, black pepper and chicken stock. You don't have to use chicken stock, it can be whichever stock works best with what meat you're using, or just vegetable stock. Okay, so now it's time to add your boiling water to start creating your soup base. I go in and put the cabbage on top at this point after I've added the water, and then I add the chicken stock cube and your final ingredients, which is your miso paste. So go ahead and add that and stir that in as well as you can. When everything is fully mixed in, you're now going to want to flatten it all down onto the top of the water level so you can get as much under the water level as possible. If you need to add more water, just go ahead and add that in and give it enough mix. If you have a lid, go ahead and put a lid over the top just to let it boil. If you don't have a lid, you can use a sheet of foil, which is what I do. Okay, welcome back. So now it's time to go and check on our soup. It's been simmering for 25 minutes for me now. So I'm going to go ahead and peel that foil back. Be careful, there is a lot of steam and I did burn myself during this part. So just be very aware of that. Give everything a good mix around and taste it. It is important to taste all of your food just to see if there's any ingredients that you might need to add more of, like salt. So go ahead and give that a try. For the final step of the soup, you need something as a thickener. Some people use thickening granules or gravy granules. You can also use corn flour, or for me, I overuse breadcrumb or stuffing mix. Add this to your soup and mix it around and let it simmer for about 10-15 minutes. In this time, we're going to be cooking the gyoza. So to start our gyoza off, you're going to need a small frying pan. I use coconut oil in the bottom of my frying pan. Add your gyoza, but you can use whatever oil you like. Add your gyoza to the pan when your oil is hot, and then just start mixing it around and browning off the outside. When your gyoza is ready and looks done through to you, go ahead and take it off the heat and transfer it onto the plate and just let it sit for a few minutes while you sort out the soup. At this point, both your gyoza and soup are now done, so it's time to dish up.